second video or whatever, but they are literally tools. They're people that are fucking evil. Like, they're doing it to me right now. Veterans that were following me around town, harassing me, all this type of shit, you know, and then they're trying to get me to say stuff because they're playing on whatever. But they don't understand the reason why I'm doing it is because Trump is going to destroy the government. He's going to shit on the military and everybody else. He's going to take all that stuff that you guys got for free for years and throw it out. Okay? You think the VA was bad, we're going to not care about the VA at all. If you want to literally be rich in this country, you're going to have to work for it. And, you know, on top of that, you know, we're going to try to provide equity for once, but, you know, because that's a huge thing, you know. They literally gatekeep all the time. But, like I said, you know, you could have had a border. You could have solved this problem. And the Republicans would probably gatekeep more than anybody, you know, because it's a good business strategy. But that's what I'm saying is that at least we have a border. At least I don't have to walk outside and worry about some fucking criminal fucking dude lacing my shit with fentanyl and stealing my daughter if I ever had one. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, you people don't get it. Either side doesn't do correct. They do what's good for them, and that's it. They don't do what's right. Like, he's not going to recognize intersex because he's populist. And now if he recognizes intersex, right, then we got a deal. I'm going to help him a whole bunch more. Listen, I'll help him so much because then all he's really doing is stopping DEI, which is a racist shit of a thing. You guys are all fucking just doing stuff for minorities in this country, but in reality around the world, in real democracy, which includes the rest of the world, everybody who is a minority here around the world is a majority. Africa has fuck tons of people. Asians have a bunch of... Really, Asians are the most evil motherfuckers alive. They're literally the white people that you are talking about. They have all the fucking population. They're about to take over the world again. We're the only ones who stopped them. We were the minorities. We literally came up with democracy. And it sucks because in reality, democracy doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, it clear as day doesn't work. Now, kingships don't work either. When you get a tyrant and whatever, but I'm just saying the only way democracy will ever work, right, is if people aren't dumb. But that's the thing. It's supposed to be so that, you know, if one psychopath is around, you know what I mean? Then if one psycho is around, then we can just cut his head off and get someone better. And that's why it actually works because, you know, in order to establish, you know, a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, in order to establish a lot of, like, things that you've done to be graded on, if you did it one by one, it would take a long time, and it allows for people to have a shot and for the country to figure out ways to adapt in the process. But yeah, at the same time, for the huge things, though, for big ordeals and whatever, it's a problem because if you keep switching people up, you know, it's a problem. But Democrats, I mean, democracy, though, when there's lots of people who get to chime in, it's another problem because then there's so many different things going on and we're not all in cohesive union. Now, the cool thing about democracy and why it works the best is that a lot of people think the same in a lot of things or similar enough, and that's what it's been like, is that what we've been going on that. So it is better if that happens, but now we're all divided and shit. Nobody's even sitting there trying to come together. If we all came together, democracy is the best, because then if you take out the head of the snake, everybody else is going to operate pretty much the same. And then you have a culture, and then that's what the good is, that everybody's also taking part more because they have a say, and their say is the exact same as everybody else's because you vote for it. It's great. But that's the thing, man. It's not like that. The world is usually evil, and that's why kingships are the ones that work. Like I said, if you prove to me that the world's on a good stride, then we can have democracy, but it's not. You people don't even want illegal immigrants to leave this country, bro. They're illegal. They came here illegally. Listen, I understand that everybody has family members and stuff that do, you know, all kinds of good stuff for New York, but they are here illegally. And we are a minority, bro. If anybody's getting minority help, it's white people. We around the planet, okay, are being fucked anally all the time by these people. And we came up with the most shit. And we're the best people. We live the longest. We have the best food, the best cultures of all time. We have done the most significant inventions. We are the best looking bitches of all time. Women that literally black people don't even have sex with black chicks anymore almost because white chicks are so fine. You get a Polish or a Swedish bitch, they are the finest thing. They look finest. They have crystal blue eyes. They're light skinned. You know, they're not too white. You know, they have a little bit of darkness in their skin. And then the more time they spend on the sun, they get less UV problems. And they won't get sunburned that much, just a little bit. You know, like how I am. I'm literally like Bavarian and Greek. You know what I mean? Look at my skin. It's like brown now. It's not even white anymore because I've been out in the sun. This is what it used to kind of look like, right? Like light. It was very light as a kid, like that. And then you get over time, because I'm a little bit native too, you get a little darker, and you're fine. It's perfect skin color. If you start out like this, you get a little bit too dark. And then you overheat a little bit. This is why natives aren't as good in the same climate as white people. White people in America have run longer than anybody. There's a white dude, and he's probably from, you know, Polish or whatever. He can run longer than David Goggins, everybody. You're never going to beat us at anything. We're still beating you in the Olympics. Just because you beat us at one sport, basketball and football, barely. And we still have Christian McCaffreys and stuff being popped up everywhere. Cooper Kupp's coming out of nowhere. You're never going to beat Tom Brady. Okay, and then on top of it, we don't even play sports like that. Wait till we start playing sports. We got people dunking on, white people are dunking on y'all now. You know what I'm saying? Just give it, I'm serious, give it 20 to 50 years. You guys were bred for it, and we're still beating you in general sports. Now you can sit there and say the Olympics, no one cares about that. But the Olympics is the biggest sporting event in the world. It is still, to some people, the biggest sporting event in the world. Black people just don't care about it that much. Okay, we'll see though. You guys, listen, I guarantee you, if you compete with us starting now, you're going to lose. You could have had it. You might have been able to take over the Olympics, right? But you didn't. You know, it's been sports. And you do compete in the Olympics. There is Simone Biles and other people. Usain Bolt has become a thing somewhat. It's not that big of a thing for a lot of black people to go into. They usually go into sports like football and basketball, but it is a thing. It is a thing. You are losing still to this day in averages on Olympics. You will never beat us at anything other than like small things. Like I think you are the fastest people ever. We're the strongest. What would you rather have? Strength or speed? If you do a phalanx, right, and you cover everybody with shields, all that speed's irrelevant. You can't hit, you know, points on a person because we're just gonna do that. And then that's what it was in ancient history. You have a blockade, some big motherfucking Viking or Greco-Roman soldier comes over and nails you with the spear. And he's going to do it stronger than what you would do per pound. You know, we're stronger. That's what I'm saying. We're built like a gorilla, bro. Like the strongest people of all time are white. John Hacks, the pound for pound strongest with steroids. I'm probably strongest pound for pound. If I can get a deadlift at about 600-700, which is about what I squat, okay, because I'm squatting. I just did 5 something the other day with 150 pounds on my back. So the world record for my weight class is 625. I'm going to smash it. And I'm not even on steroids. If I can do the same with deadlift, and if I can do the same with, what's it called? Like benching and shit, and I do like some chimp workouts for 5 years, I got maybe till I'm 40 to just lift consistently powerful weights. And people will sit there and laugh, because I could probably do it till I'm 45, 50. But what I'm saying is I got, like in my prime, I got to when I'm about 40 years old. And I got 5 years of working out constantly to do chimp workouts and to be pound for pound the strongest human being of all time. I'm telling you right now, I will be able to do that shit. I will be able to do it. And I will be able to make my breeds in the process too. I just need to get a good job and be able to have camera systems and then not kill my dogs. And either way, the best dog is a game pit. It's never going to change. You can use them for the military. And if you bred them right, they would be better than Malinois. By far. By far. It would not even be close. They're the best pound for pound dog to do anything with because they'll die for it. Malinois do not die for it the same way, not even close. Some of them might have a little bit of fight in them. They might go even 10, 20. I have one that can go 40 minutes. You know what I mean? But he's not going to sit there and do the same shit. Linus will run circles with him because he'll do 3 hours. It's not even close. And they do bite work. They can protect you. They can jump up walls. You know, the closest thing is American Sentinels. I've been trying to tell H. Lee to make that shit a whole breed, where you have game pits in the breed, and then you have Sentinels, and you're just mixing them up and having different percentages, like 90-something%. Then you have, you know, of the band dog being game pit, and then you have regular pure large game pits. And then it will be like, the lowest level will be 55 plus. You know what I mean? And then the highest will be whatever. And, you know, he's going to use Presa and shit. But you need Malinois in there. You don't need Presa so much as you need to add Malinois and Greyhound. If you added Malinois and Greyhound and you made them longer legs with power butt and stuff, they would be perfect. They would be a running version of American Sentinel. And I've said this for years. So, and then you could use my stock. I even said, I'll let you use my stock even though I don't like you. And we could come together. That way I could go become president and figure this shit out, you know? And I feel like they're trolling me. That's why. I feel like they're trolling me and won't let me do that. And won't let me finish this red, white, and blue green. I would give him some of my stock. I really would. I would give him some of my stock. We can make a running version of his American Sentinel. And he puts Malinois in it with some Presa and we're Gucci. I don't care then because Sorrels is Paris' favorite. But it's not just Sorrels. It's all the other lines. There's the best dog he had wasn't even Sorrels like that. He's even said it, that was his favorite dog and his best dog. It wasn't just his favorite, it was the best one. Kid technically is the best one. He's never lost. Silver lost to a man dog. Kid, there's no dog that even came close to beating him. He was like Khabib. He dominated everything, killed everything in like 30 minutes. Or cut his head half off in 30 minutes. Chewed right through his skull type of shit. You know, it was basically like that. You know what I mean? So, it's whatever. That's just what the truth is. Like, Kid was in the running for the #1 dog in the world. He was the international #1 dog in the world till Tom Garner or whoever stepped in, and they did a few other matches too, and they were all tired talking about it and shit, and then they chose him as dog of the decade. Even though he was garbage. He went like an hour and something with another dog and shit, and it's like, that's garbage. If you go over 30 minutes, your dog is not that good. Unless you're in holds the whole time. Which, like I said, this is only historical. I don't take part in dogfighting, nothing. I'm just trying to explain to you what I'm talking about. Is that this type of shit is why they're all up on my ass. They're thinking I'm dogfighting, which they knew I wasn't at some point, and now they're just trying to make it into a thing to try to scare me away from what I've been doing, which is not illegal. Imagine it being not illegal and you're trying to harass me for it. All I do is I put out dogs and I try to socialize them. If they don't work out, then I don't do it. And then they'll sit there and be like, oh, well, it's because you have game or dogs, you shouldn't do it. Bro, it doesn't work that way. Some dogs get along, sometimes they don't. Like I said, I'll put a muzzle on them and they'll get cool together and look like they're getting along together, and I'll try it again. It might not work, and if it doesn't work enough, then if I do it like 2-3 times and it doesn't work, I was going to shut it down. You think I'm going to just sit there and let my dogs chew on each other all day? No. When have you ever seen me do that on my channel? You know? And even if I was trying to get footage of stuff and make them look cool and everything, there's nothing wrong with that because it's not illegal. If they get into a fight on their own accord, it's not illegal. I'm not even coaching them to do it. Now, I do have like an ability to like look at stuff and have them do stuff, and you know, but you're never going to be able to prove that in court because then you're admitting that I'm a good trainer on some level. Right? And then I can open the door on how I'm an actual really high-level trainer, and I've gotten dogs to do world records, which I have, world records. And I also, this is in a few years, and I've also been training with elite people and no elite people, and have also had my dog train with one of the best people that you guys all use for police departments, and she literally almost bit him in the face, everything when he slapped her. And she's just defensive. She's not a prey-driven dog unless it's a toy. But you probably could get her to do that. If she wrapped her brain around it, she'd be great. But I don't think she's going to do that. She's too nice of a dog. There's only some dogs who will do that. It's a natural thing. If you can't bring it out naturally, then that's just a natural thing. I could have brought it out. I could have brought it out of her if she was like that. I do things to bring it out. I do things where I even let them try to bite me. You know, I try to have them bite me. I try to have them get on me. I try to have them do all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it could actually hinder them because it's not them doing it on a person. They won't do it as hard, and it makes it, you know, unstable with you. But my dogs have control. I can see it in their face when they're under control, okay? They'll try to scare me even, and I don't believe it, and then we basically stalemate, and they just kind of shut down because they're not going to be able to overtake me in the pack. They don't even want to. They know I'm going to get mad at it if they start doing it, and they're afraid of it, you know, because they know that if one day I was even letting it go, and then beforehand, and then, you know, I started getting on their ass again, then they're screwed because I'm the alpha. They know just based on size and strength, they're like, this motherfucker is strong as hell, and I am. I literally make sure. Sorry, I'm just doing weird shit because I get bored and just go like, whoa. But yeah, no, it's like, you know, I basically like you know, I'm trying to explain what I do. And not only that, you know, like, the dogs will never over alpha me. Maybe Gabo would try, but he doesn't want to anymore. He knows that I have Yeti, and that's another thing I've done. I've done stuff where I've let dogs out knowing they would probably fight. I don't know, though, what they're going to do, though. That's what I'm trying to... You can't convict somebody of that if I have no idea what the fuck they're actually going to do. I'm just going based on trends, right? So if I knew that they probably wouldn't like each other, that was the first time, too, that they were ever out. I just knew that that's just the way that they are. And with Asylum, I'm just trying to get her to be okay with other dogs. She's usually the one who starts it and whatever, and she's on a roll because she thinks I want her to do that somehow. And I never even did anything really to start her on that. I didn't. But like, she also though is a psycho. Like, she started the first time doing it by herself, right? I mean, I've kind of like, I don't even know. I haven't really like sat there and said anything with my face, like, you know, to do it like that much. Sometimes I'll be like messing with them and shit. I'm like, oh, you know, like in the cage or whatever. But I'm not doing anything to get her wild up. You know, she starts it. She just, and that's why he gave her to me, because she would start with the other dogs at his pack. So I did know that she was probably going to be like that, but I've taken her to the dog park. She was fine there, right? So I thought I had her on a trend of doing it. I have videos of it, but she's even not the first time. And then he was telling me basically that, you know, and I had given him the answer out before. I had told him beforehand that, like, I was like, oh, like, she's just basically coming to, you know, like, she's scared and like she's shutting down because she's in a new home and she's not really doing her usual thing and not confident. And that's what I asked H. Lee about. And then he was like, yeah, that's probably what it is. But he only said that, I think, because of, like, he wants people not to look at his dogs as being shitty. And that's why he killed my dog. And with police, you all have been helping her out somehow, right? And trying to scare me in the time you came over. You all killed my dogs, or she either did it in the next morning, after you left. You guys were just trying to scare me, and you knew that she would kill my dogs. So you obviously knew she was involved, but you knew that, like, you know, we can't get in trouble for it. And so that way, if I do a polygraph test on the cops, and you say that you didn't kill them, then I want to get charged, or you guys want to get charged for it. It's fine. Listen, we're all going to talk about this on a polygraph. And even if it's not illegal, right, because you can conspire with people and shit like that, right, probably at this point, if you're not involved, you know what I mean? But that's the thing, is that you're all going to look bad. I think it's illegal. It should be illegal, and I'm pretty sure you can get charged in a lawsuit for that. But then you guys will probably sit there and try to make me look bad and, like, you know, you never took these dogs to the vet and whatever. It's fine. We all know why I did it, though, because I'm not going to have them charge me $5,000 for something I know that they're not going to survive from. And then they'll be like, oh, you have no credibility. I'm like, yes, I do. I've been to college. I was going to college for zoology. I've had exotic pets all of my life. Like, some of my pets are in fucking animal farms and zoos over the country. I have one that went to an alligator farm, and I'm trying to remember, like, the other ones. Like, I've given some to people who probably have used them, and they might be in zoos or whatever. So, you know, I've had red-tailed boas, Dumero boas, Cali Kings. I've had hognose snake, mildly venomous snakes. I mean, I've had all kinds of stuff. I had, like, at one point, like 30 animals in my house. You know, water monitor. I've had like 4 water monitors. They all died from some shit. One drowned somehow. I don't even know how he would drown. That's why I feel like my brother killed him. He probably held them down somehow with a glove or something. Because how could a water monitor fucking drown? And they weren't even, listen, they weren't even holding on to each other tight or nothing. They never constricted. They never tried to fight each other. Nothing. They were just, the snake would always hang on, and they would just use each other as a floaty. And they would swim around all day. This is gone for hours. I let them swim, do whatever they want. They'd have like a little area they could go up onto, right? So either something happened, or my brother, when he walked by, basically killed them. He walked by, like I said, and I was like, and he had killed them because they didn't want me to have exotic pets in the house. And then they're doing it now. They're gonna try to sit there and act like I'm the one doing it and framing me for it and shit. And the Republican people are trying to bait me anyways to not have animals so that they can fuel me so that I can destroy them, basically. It's amazing how insane these people are. It's amazing. On both sides. My brother is literally a murderer, bro. He's literally involved in murdering my animals. My father literally had Adam fly away. One of the neighbors came out, and they've been stewing this shit to me for years. They've been hurting me and fucking trying to play games with me for years. So... and they're involved somehow with somebody, whether it's my coach or some police officer in Tampa. You know, they're involved somehow with somebody who's investigating me and trying to frame me into whatever. That's what they're involved in. They're involved in, and then the person, the animal control person who's involved in the state is like a liberal, guaranteed, and she's the one framing me because they were investigating me and getting on my ass for the whole Will incident where Will was in my phone and other people were in my phone. They somehow get into your phone if you don't have a VPN. It's like shared shit, and they can hear everything I'm saying right now. They can see whatever I'm on my phone with and what I'm doing in my phone. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. It just sends it to wherever phones that are all connected to the thing, and everyone's on the same thing, and they can just find out, you know? They're probably sitting there, you know, with like a camera, you can see everything in my camera and shit, and trying to like get as much info, which is illegal. You can't even illegally. I literally said this shit as a joke, and they know it was a joke, and I'll explain it as that, and I'll explain that they did know, and that Mo's friend, the cop that started doing it, did know it was a joke. And so it's going to get tossed, like I said. And then you all can make me look bad, and I'll sit there and explain in court why all this shit happened, and you'll sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, you did break the law because you didn't take what's-his-face in. I knew he wasn't going to make it. It went second layer. He has no chance of living. Like, if the dog, even if it takes a week for that dog to die, there's no way that the vet's going to suck out the air from his brain. Okay? Like, it went second layer. Anybody who knows dogs know he's not going to make it. So I just let him fucking, you know, he took him a couple days for him to die. But I knew he wasn't going to make it. You can't even I tried to let him heal. I tried to sit there and find a way to stitch him up or something. If I stitch it up with the oxygen in there, it's going to kill him faster. The only way I had hoped is if somehow the air would just trickle out and he would make it somehow. And so that's why I let him go. Comet had fucking severe cancer of the face. I even showed my girlfriend a video of it, which I can find on T-Mobile. I'm going to have, like I said, we're going to do continuances, and I'm going to try to get the T-Mobile thing that I sent to her, and whatever. I'll even take a lie detector test. I literally love my dogs. I waited 2 days to try to see if I could just let it go longer, and I could not do it. I could not feed him. I put a giant bowl in there to see if he would eat. He did not eat, and then I purposely showed my girl, right after telling her some bullshit, right, which you all probably heard. I showed her a thing, and you are hearing this all the time too, so you're either going to try to sit there and be like, oh, we're not always investigating you. Okay, fine. Well, I'll go take a polygraph test, and we'll figure it out, because I guarantee you what that shit's going to say. I did not kill Comet, right? I thought it was even me. I felt bad as shit, because usually dogs have green eyes, and they have a little bit of shit in their eyes, right? But his eyes were swollen. And it was like, oh shit, you know, maybe it was like an eye infection because I didn't feed him. Sometimes when you don't feed them, their eyes get really swollen. But the problem was with that is that I didn't know if it was that or if it was his facial cancer. His facial cancer was all green. It went higher up within days. It was like looking like he had a mutated head. He got an infection because of the cancer. That's the most probable thing. Because anytime I don't feed a dog for a day or two, they're always going to have green shit, but they're never going to get infections like that. His eyes were swollen shut. He couldn't even, his nose was bigger. His whole face was swollen because his whole head was a giant cancer cell. And it was already getting nastier and greener and moldier. I don't have money to take a dog to the vet for that. I don't have $3,000 to sit there and fucking take my beloved family member to save him when he's already old as it is. Okay? Like, I don't have money for that. It's not fair. You can't expect me to do that and sabotage my other dogs' lives. I'm literally over here running a fucking rescue off of no money and no dime of mine. And y'all will sit there and act like I'm a bad person or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And then you try to frame me and act like I'm doing something illegal. I'm not even doing anything illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal. Nothing. There's even training videos of people, and I usually look at the way people train dogs overseas because I don't like the American style of training. It's insane. It doesn't even support real dog behavior. Dogs can dominate each other. They'll even fight and organize themselves better than you ever could. And that's what I let happen. I let them fight for a little bit. Then I break it up, and over time, you can actually watch it. Listen, it's the most Republican thing ever. It's like literally, you can watch it. I guarantee you in a couple months, maybe a year or two, Asylum will be chilling with us and we'll be hog hunting. Because that's how you have to do it. They're working dogs. They're not going to be dogs that you just fucking coddle and tell to go sit down. They won't do it. Even Gabo, like I've been training him and shit, he will do good for a whole day. And then he's like, nah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not sitting down. Now, if I had a treat, Sure, he'd sit the fuck down because they're all whores for food. But that's cheating. Anybody like Justin Rigney or any of these people who are like Hans Paid or anybody else who's using any sort of treats, right? Which I all know that they, on some level, Hans Alpine and all this, anybody who is literally as a trainer telling you to use a treat is a fucking steroid user and as far as training. They're cheaters. They're fucking cheaters. Now, if you use treats, then they better be able to do it without the treats. And we all know that that's not really the case. Usually they don't. That over time they're going to be like, oh, I'm not getting treats for it. And then they get resentful. Okay, dogs are not a robot. They are not that highly trainable. A dog like Monkey is like a rarity in itself. And even Monkey doesn't have probably the perfect training. If you put a dog in his face, he might slap him up or tell him to get off. And that's dog behavior. They're fucking literally uncontrollable psychopathic animals that literally fight all day for dominance in the pack. There's nothing you can do. There's never anything you're going to be able to do besides breed better dogs. That's why I've been trying to tell people, breeding's the only answer. You find the ones who are soft as baby cotton, and then you fucking breed those. That's it. And then the working ones will go to people like me, and then you people will sit there and shit on us all day. I don't even understand how Cesar Millan does it. I love that dude just because he sits there and deals with y'all people's problems. Like half of those dogs should be put down, or they should be in someone else's hands. Even Cesar Millan's 5 feet tall, has no chance of stopping a real dog from killing him. None. You have to put, like a doggo, you have to put that bitch on a muzzle. There's no way he's going to sit there and wrangle one. He's going to try to kill him. Any dog that's like 150 pounds, he will get burned up with heat. I get burned up with heat. Okay, now if it's in the fall and I'm in shape, no, I'll be fine. But that's what I was trying to tell him is that like I threw around a 130-pound presser, like a rag doll, and I would have got the choke already. But if I sit there for fucking 15 minutes, of course I'm going to get tired. They're the world's most dangerous animal for relentless endurance and fighting. They will outfight any animal, okay, even humans, or just about. I'm not in shape. I'm carrying another press up on my back, so. And like I said, he won't show you the rest of the video. You can see it on my channel where I was throwing him around like a rag doll. 10 times. I was just powerlifting him. Wham! I would have slammed him into some shit, jumped his back, and got a chokehold like I do with every dog. He would have even if he bit me in the face, it doesn't matter. I'm going to choke him to death. And he even saw it. He was like, yeah, you can choke him because I was throwing him around. I'm going to get the chokehold. Okay, he's seen me do it on my channel. I've done it to band dogs. The most dangerous dog. Preacher Girl was an American Sentinel. I would grapple with her. She'd have no chance. Yeah, she's heavy. She's about 100 pounds if I feed her like a normal pet. Maybe 85, 80 in decent shape, right? If I feed her like the way you guys feed a pet, which is what I always say, she's like a 100-pound game-bred band dog. She's got like 40-something% game pit. You're not going to sit there and tell me I can't do this shit to dogs. And I'm not even big. I'm like 165 in shape. So that dog, really, if you fed him to like 10, 20% body fat, that dog, Taz, he's like a 140-pound presser all day. He was lean. You could see his ribs a little bit, right? You could see, like, he was a big-ass dog. His head's huge. That dog is all day at least 120, 130, right? You could probably feed him to 150, and he would look like a normal presser, right? You guys don't know what you're talking about. 9. That dog was vicious, and he's about as big as they come. The only other bigger dogs is like a Bully Kuta or like a Barboil or an Alibi, and people do it to Alibis. I've seen a guy, Alibis technically are the #1 large, highly regulated fighting breed. Vocal dogs are. They're not really Alibis, but vocal dogs, wolf killers of the Alibi breed. They call them wolf killers because they're big enough to, and they're bad enough to. Some of them have the courage to do it. Some of them don't. They're cursed. If you get one of the good ones, they're going to fuck up a wolf. Even 5, I've seen them go into 5 wolves at once. Wolves want nothing to do with them. And those dogs in international matching will lose to a 50-pound game pit. I got videos. I got one of the best dogs of all time named Gabo. Okay, got his ass whooped and jumped the box. I have other videos. They'll literally pick specific pit bulls just now because they don't want to go into European competition anymore because they lose every time. They'll literally pick the worst dogs. The worst dogs to go into pit bulls. Even Para himself, right? He used to think that those Bosnian Tornjaks, which is another LGD that was used in the Serbian Mastiff, he was thinking that those were the shit, or it was like the Sarplananak. No, it was a Sarplananak. One of the LGDs is about the same size, and it's actually more vicious sometimes than an Alibi. There are Sarplananaks that will absolutely kill any Kangol or Alibi. depending on the dog. So, like I said, they're one of the most, that's another one that people don't talk about. Sarpanonox, Molossus eberus, they will fuck up your average Kangal. They will. Anatolian, you know, some Anatolians even, they're not even real Kangals anymore, but some of them will fuck up a Kangal. They'll fuck up a vocal dog. It depends on the dog. The number one dog consistently by a mile to go to the death in a real fight, not just a sumo fight where it looks like the big dog's winning or some shit. They will never beat that dog over a long period of time. He has more fight in him. He has more endurance. He's going to catch your dog's face, and he's going to wear them the fuck out. And they'll sit there and be like, oh, well, that's just because he's catching his face, and he's using jiu-jitsu of dogs. Yes, motherfucker, that's what it is. But it's also the fact that they will literally crush bones, too. They take off the faces of some of these LGDs. They will take their jawbone off. And that's what H-Lee's trying to do, is make a dog that is basically a large version of that to weigh down people more, right? And it won't be as game, right, as a game dog. There's nothing that's going to beat the game dog. If you get one that crushes skulls or that takes something like that off and rips off their mouth or their bone, there's some game pits who can do that. I've seen them rip off a hog's face in 5 minutes. They'll rip it right the fuck off. Just like his bone and all just is coming right off. And like that's a mouth dog. That's the type of dogs I have. I have 4 of those. I have dogs right now that will take off the metal hinges of the most expensive cage right now on the market. They'll just rip it off, a whole piece of metal, and they'll chew on it, all that shit. I've seen one hanging from the rafters of a kennel system. Now, you get a presser to do that, and he'll do it for like 5 minutes, and he'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a badass, and he won't even like get off his feet. Like, I even showed Taz, I was like, bro, I'll help you with hangs, because he doesn't know what he's doing. He thinks that hangs aren't important. Hangs are the most important workout you can do at a gym for humans or dogs. What is the hardest workout to do at a gym? If anybody says anything other than pull-ups, you're retarded. If you do any other reps, like benching, anything, people can bench and whatever, right? They can bench and squat 50 times with high weights. You can't do shit with pull-ups. It's the same thing with dogs. When you're doing a pull-up, it's the most enduring workout. And when you endure pain, that's a form of gameness, right? So if you can endure pain and pressure and you can hold your body up, then your muscles are hilariously strong for your body weight and size, and you are extremely dexterous and tough, basically, that you can do, they're basically tough that you can do that. That's why I use hangs. That's why hangs are the most important workout. Once you get a dog to hang and he's got drives, as soon as you send them on whatever target, if they have man drives or sleeve drives, it doesn't matter. They're going to grab it, or even hunting. They're going to grab it, hold it, they're never letting go the whole time. Their mouth becomes strong, everything. They'll just hold on to it and catch it, and that's all that you need dogs for. There's really nothing else. You need dogs to protect your house, be alarm systems, and to go catch shit. That's basically it. That's why I train. Only a few things. I train them on we'll do some bite work. They'll do hangs and stuff. I'll pick them up off the ground and walk them around 40 minutes while they're on my arm. These are full-grown canines, bro. And I'm 165 pounds in shape. Your dog has no chance of stopping a human. The only chance he has is if he grabs nuts. Maybe back in the day, when dogs were throwing teeth and shit and doing crazy shit, sure, a Malinois, if he's smart, he'll grab a couple of nuts. He'll grab your nuts so fast, if he was smart, he'd just shoot in there because he won't be able to get them on the initial barrage, and he'd grab your dick and rip it right off. I've seen a pit bull rip it off in 2 seconds. But other than that, other than getting a hole poke in your wrist or your neck, if you block those things real quick and you get a hold of them, it is sayonara, son. I've seen people put the Alibi had to have been the same size as him, bro. Dude was at least 150 to 180 pounds of a human. Just sprawled out on his head. The Alibi had nothing for it. And I would kill that guy in a fight. If me and that guy right now, go find him. I'll put it on TV. I will put him in 15 chokeholds in 20 minutes. I'll bet you right now I will. I'll just lay all my weight right on his ass and he'll fucking sit there and go, oh, he won't even know what to do with it. I weigh as much as a hog, bro. Have you ever seen a hog when it starts throwing dogs around? That's what it looks like. When I'm sitting there, you can ask M or anybody, I'm like a hog. I will throw dogs around. I literally broke up a fight the other day that they tried to have me do because they want to harass me to where I'll do it. I even said I don't know what's going to happen because I don't. They could be best friends. I have no idea. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they are best friends. I have no idea. 2 months ago, they were best friends. Explain to me what happened. You guys all don't know. They'll be like, oh, you trained them for it. You've never seen me put asylum on a leash and stir them up. Never. Maybe once, but that's because she was already psycho and doing it herself. I never gave like a command like, go kill that dog. You know, and then sometimes maybe I did after because she was already acting crazy to troll my neighbors. But I'm not actually doing that. You can see on my channel, when have you ever seen me go and say, go kill that dog? Other than with Linus, obviously, because I was doing funny stuff, and I would show that Linus would never attack anybody, but he never attacked anybody, maybe a couple times. You know what I mean? Sometimes they would get up in each other's face and I cut the video, but you have no evidence of that. I'm not sitting there trying to start them to fight. It's supposed to be for show. You know what I mean? Like, they're supposed to be funny and snarl at each other, and that was the whole premise. And then they wouldn't fight. Like I said, I've had them where, and it still proves my point. This is that sometimes they fight, right? And even if you encourage it, whatever, they'll sometimes not. Which I'm not even encouraging it like that. I'm doing it for show. Now, I won't do it for show anymore since you guys have such a fucking problem with it. But then how the fuck am I going to support my channel? You know what I mean? How am I supposed to be? That's all people want to see. Cesar Millan and all these other people do the same shit. They'll drag dogs around. They'll make it look like it's a tough fight. They'll pull them closer to you, to them, and make sure that they get so close, you know. And they try to play games with the dog to where he finally, stops being a dick because he's so close to you all the time. He knows you're not going to harm him. And that's a quick way to solve it. But you all will sit there and attack me, but you won't attack them as animal abuse. That's technically the same thing. I'm encouraging them to get it out, right? With dog fighting, I'm encouraging them to get it out in a way. If they don't want to, then they don't want to. I'm not sitting there, though, and putting them in a box and trying to have them actually kill each other, obviously, or even fight. It's a part of pack stuff. If I send Linus and I'm messing with, like I have a video where I sent Linus on Buddy, and he would come back, right? Because I'd call him back, and I sent him again. And then Buddy got a little mad, and then Linus got in his face, and I think that they did fight for like a second or two, and they were fine. But they weren't like trying to kill each other. They literally could fight 5 minutes at a time and then go lay down right next to each other. That's how they were. They were like brothers. They were like dickhead brothers. It was like Andrew Tate and fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's how they were. They would just sit there and, it's like boys will be boys. It's not like I'm sitting there fucking doing an entire, like I'm like prepping the dog and putting on, taking the rub off his face and shit. And like, putting him in and then they'll sit there and be like, oh, why are your dogs all skinny then? They're working dogs. You could feed them twice a day, they'll still be thin. Now, I'll let them get bulky. I'll feed them way more, and they'll look fat as hell, and I guarantee you all you people will be like, oh, that's so much better. Bro, my dogs, dogs don't even live long, for one. And for you to put 20 extra pounds on your dog to make him look politically good is the highest form of abuse of anything, because you are taking an entire year off of his life by carrying around that weight and by having that sort of fat. So, like I said, all of my dogs don't get tired, right? Even Tiger Wolf, when I went over to his house, he was like, man, that dog is skinny, because he was trying to frame me. And he had someone drive by, which you all were, but were involved with. But I told him, I'm like, watch, she'll do bite work, no problem. And she was like screaming, trying to get, she broke the cage trying to get a piece of him. So like I said, you can say whatever you want about my dogs. If I knew that they were prey driven like that or whatever, I wouldn't just let them roam around. They'd be in cages all the time. Like Taz is. He don't take that dog outside. There ain't no way in hell he takes that dog outside. None. If you take that dog outside, somebody's getting fucked up. Period. You're just not doing it. And it's good to have for the house. You have him for an inside dog. But you don't even have tops to your cages, I don't think. You're going to talk to me, bro? You and Mo are going to talk to me? And they probably bought it from the same place, because that's why they knew each other. Or they, like, somebody's selling those cages and they're all friends. Or some shit like that. Because they have the same cages. You going to talk to me, bro, about that shit? Listen, you don't know shit about dogs. All of you people are sitting there like, oh, I'm a bad trainer and stuff. I don't go through 1,500 dogs like you. I'm not like Mo. I'm not like Nelson Valera. They won't sit there and tell you before they went to the department they tried to find the very best dogs to campaign their dogs with and to show their skills with. They don't tell you that they probably murdered 15 of them, right, every litter, right? Because all of a sudden, every time I go to Mo's house, there's less dogs. You can't even sell that many dogs. Listen, he literally gave me a dog and it had fucking parvo or something in its ass and was like bleeding blood, probably coccidia, and I gave him ringworm, right? But I thought that his dogs would be on a medication, so it would be fine, right? Lo and behold, they're not. You know what I mean? So either way, even if it was ringworm, it's not even close to being as bad as coccidia. And I knew that he was going to give me a dog with that, so that's why I took a picture of it And so we exchanged it, and he had a dog with nasty, bloody stool and probably worms and coccidia. And I gave him ringworm, which is less, so I still win that because then it shows how much of a dick you are. Like I said, I'm not playing games with you people. I'm not going to sit here and fucking act like you guys are all cool friends of mine and shit. I would do bite work with him if every 2 seconds he wasn't trying to make me look bad. Like I said, I don't want to do that shit with somebody who wants to sit there and make me look bad. And I said that I would even, but that's also contingent on the fact that you guys don't kill my dogs. Now you're killing my dogs, and I have to deal with him? No, I was going to go back consistently and still try to pay him, and try to work it out. Maybe a couple times I take a couple months off, and say some shit like I won't come back, and then I'll come back. But now you guys have made it into a thing, so I'm not going to do that. I might do it if he, apologizes, or if, you guys don't kill my dogs anymore, I might go back, and I'll sit there and he wants me to do all this training so that I look a certain type of way. I was literally, joking around, and he had me run away from the dog and whatever, and, they're trying to film me to where I look like I'm running away, and he literally tried to take videos, and I made his dogs look bad. I grabbed one of his dogs by the face. I did all this shit. He's like, oh, you can do whatever you want, bro. I'm like, what do you mean I can do whatever I want? And then he tried to he probably cropped that shit out. Like I told him, like I said, if you want to do it, you pay me some money, I'll do it. And if I get my stitches and stuff like that, that's fine. I'm not going to sit there and just wrangle a dog, get 15 holes in my arm before I choke him half unconscious and drag him back in the cage. Okay, because you will get bit. If you're going into a dog that's a good dog, most of those dogs aren't like his dog. His dog's going to bite me at least 1 or 2 times. But as soon as I get a hold of him, though, I got a hold of his face, and he was screaming at me and trying to yell at me and push me, like, what are you doing? You're going to break my dog, trying to get me to fight him, because he has nothing against me, and you won't charge him for attacking me, right, on his property, because there's no evidence, and he'll sit there and push me and try to hit me, because I'm going to break his dog, because his dog sucks, and doesn't have any drives whatsoever in him, and you're going to try to frame me for being a bad... Like I said, when I get my fucking bite suit, I'm going to roll around and do actual jujitsu with dogs. And then it's going to make y'all look like fucking dumbasses, because when you see how many times I choke them out in 15 minutes, which is not illegal, everyone does it. Everyone sits there and rolls with each other and fucking does all this shit, right? They haven't charged me with anything, and they're not going to charge me with anything, because it's not illegal if I put a dog in a chokehold. If he's not going out cold, and he's fine with it, and we're playing, it's a form of play. So you can suck my fucking wee-wee, I'm not doing that shit, so... Like I said, that's another thing, is that I'm afraid to do it, because you people have sat there for years and said, why are you playing with him? Why are you choking the dog? Why are you... I'm showing people how to stop dogs from attacking people. You're not going to sit there and charge me with anything. And if they do, they're fucking stupid, especially now, because you won't be getting anything from me as far as any sort of political help. And I perfectly timed it now, because even if I keep giving them more and more ideas about the future... Right? I'm not going to do it that much. I'm going to be right there as everything happens, and if they leave my ass alone and don't give me any more speeding tickets, I'll help. You can sit there and say they're corrupt all you want, but it's about national security, and the government legally can do that. They can legally do anything for national security. On some level, our country, if it's voted on to where you tell them that's what we're doing, or you make it known that's what we're doing, and nobody wants the president out of there, that's essentially saying that you want it. Or unless you're sitting there saying that we all need to charge him, but the majority won't. They will sit there and allow me to help him and force him into leaving me alone, and that's what the majority wants. So they don't want y'all. They don't want the Democrat bullshit of you trying to frame me and make me out to be something. Like I said, I'll put them on muzzles, and I'll wait 2 years and have them spend every day with each other with the muzzle on. Right? Which is what my next thing was going to be, because you all are so fucking smart. And I'll basically, I just don't have the money because I haven't been working, because you all went to my jobs. And I will basically, ensure that they all are best friends looking, and I'll take them to dog parks even, right? And when that muzzle comes off, I don't want to hear a fucking thing. And then I'm going to have more of them. I'm going to breed more, I'm going to do more, and I'm going to have a bunch of different ones. You won't even know the genetics of all of them. And I'll basically just keep putting more game dog in them, and I'm going to sell them to only people who want to have them. You know what I'm saying? Only real, serious people. You know what I mean? Which, if I say anything otherwise, that's just me saying it because I'm mad or trying to get you to stop, probably, you know? But who knows, you know? That's why, shut the fuck up. Mind your own business, you know? I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to be involved with selling the wrong people dogs. I've already said that, but you all literally do this shit. Like I said, you constantly try to fucking make it out to be something and harm me all the time. Like I said, I'm going to be breeding another, you know, I'm going to get another pup off of, you know who and other people, so, or other dogs and other people, so. Mind your own business. Your own business.